Aisha Yusufu a case of two forgeries. A case of two forgeries. So what are the forgeries here that Aisha Yusufu is about to, unveil? Let's dive into the details quickly. Nigeria has been a country where many are ready to support the atrocities of the rich and mighty. There is almost an unwritten code that if you are going to commit a crime, just ensure that you have the wealth and power to back it up and all will be good. The audacity to commit a crime when you are neither rich nor mighty is almost an unforgivable sin. Many are ready to bring in the tires, petrol, and matchsticks, when someone steals a phone or even some food items, and those same people will go to the extra mile to defend and justify the stealing of billions by those who are supposedly to serve them or who are supposed to serve them. One wonders, is it cowardice, fear, or hypocrisy? Or is it even a case of admiration that some are able to pull of audacious crimes and disdain for those who are only involved in petty crimes? Can you imagine? Nothing exemplifies this anomaly than the forgery saga currently unfolding against the person of Bola Ahmed Tinubu, who currently sits on the highest political office in the land, contentiously, I must add. Many notable Nigerians and even citizens have been defending, justifying, and finding excuses for Tinubu. Some journalists have even gone as far as profile reason why Tinubu has to submit the alleged forged certificate. One of the more fantastic submissions is that he didn't have enough time to get a replacement before INEC deadline, so he went ahead and got himself a fancy one that can be submitted before the deadline. Some of the arguments that have been put forth are so comical and would have been such a comic relief if not for the gravity of the issue at hand. One man even went on live TV to say Tinubu has a right to redesign his certificate because it is a ceremonial certificate. Then Tinubu himself had said at the Chatham House that he has received his original replacement certificate from Chicago State University. Ironically, it has been reported that during the deposition, the representative of the Chicago State University had stated that the original certificate was never collected, and there are reports that in the 1999 affidavit, Tinubu had said that the certificate had been looted. So, now wow. The veracity of the forgery allegation is not what my write-up is about. The courts and the school in question have that job cut out for them. My write-up is simply to ask the question, why is the reaction to this forgery allegation different to that exhibited when it was the case of a schoolgirl accused of forging her JAMB result? I'm sure that was the case of Mmesoma Ejikeme from Anambra State. A few months ago, Nigerians had a forgery issue that was the talk of the town, just as what we currently have today. A schoolgirl that had paraded herself as having the highest JAMB score was accused of forging her result. It was almost unanimously decided then that forgery was a crime that needed to be punished. The same person who wrote long treatises and demanded that JAMB should ensure accountability and transparency and ensure that Mmesoma Ejikeme, the girl in question, be punished, are now writing long treatises to tell us why Tinubu's alleged forgery is not really forgery. They have come up with all sorts of technicalities and arguments. Mmesoma also had arguments and technicalities that could have been used for her. Indeed, she bought JAMB form and sat for the exam. She even had a result with JAMB and could have produced those that were in the same center with her when she wrote her exams if she had been asked. All she did was to help herself to a few marks. Some would have argued But that did not mean that there was no forgery. What was good for Mesoma should be good for Tinubu. No one person should be above the law. Our reputation as a country is at stake. Nigerians have faced too much discrimination and profiling over cases of fraud by a few, and add the case of someone masquerading as the president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria having such witty allegation of forgery will do untold damage to every citizen. Nigerians that will be seeking admission abroad are going to face unnecessary scrutiny because there are many who will now take cue from the words of the representative of the Chicago State University, who was reported to have said that it is a Nigerian thing to forge stamps of organizations. That is a dangerous statement to be used to describe over 200 million citizens of a country because of the action of one man. It is not a Nigerian thing to forge documents. Nigerians are known as hardworking people who put in the work to get the academic accolades that are accorded to them or awarded to them. For those who travel out of the country, the degrading treatment meted out to those carrying the Nigerian passport is a familiar sight, okay, and somewhat accepted with resignation, and these would most likely be taken up a notch, okay, be taken up a notch with all that have been coming out of this forgery allegation or saga. Okay, Nigerians will now be put through the rigors of extra and unnecessary scrutiny. Of course, Nigeria is going to go through all of that because obviously, with what Tinubu has done now, Nigeria is now known as a country that forge everything they want to use abroad. Now, so I will not be surprised if Nigerians are subjected to that level of scrutiny. That is the truth abroad. Prayers will not solve the problem of a nation. God will not do for us what He has given us the capacity for us to do for ourselves. And we have been given the capacity for nation building. Nation building can only be accomplished by citizens who are active participants in the governance of their country. Years on, when the issue about this forgery is being discussed, what would you say your contribution was? Would you be one of those who defended what is indefensible just because it was done by the rich and mighty? Or will you be one of those who stood on the side of rule of law and insisted no one must be above the law? History keeps notes as well. So comment, somebody say, then is there anything that you can use to be against people of Biafra if they said they want to be self-determined based on all these and other anomalies? Of course, now there's nothing. There's nothing. Thank you, Aisha. Where men are not available to speak, God transfers his attention to women, even animals, as it is in the case of Balaam and avaricious prophet. Avarice is a root of it all. As Buhari was robbed of his manliness against Tinubu, so Tinubu will become a puppet president to those who are helping him to cover his murky past, a dirty background, and all should distance themselves from. Okay, that all should distance themselves from. Unfortunately, he is the president of Nigeria, not a little schoolgirl. It's a very bad situation. This is a masterpiece written by a human rights fighter who has always spoken against the ills of the society when it matters most. No matter those ox is God or whose ox is God, she will ever be remembered as one of those who fought relentlessly to right the wrong, okay, of created by fraudulent political class, depicted and championed by should I call him Bola Ahmed Tinubu, or Bola Adekunle Tinubu. Anybody who is evil or support evil will eventually be swallowed by the evil. That is law of natural justice known as karma. Well, my madam, you have spoken to those who will hear from you, since men learned how to shoot without missing the will be flying without pitching. So many times you made so many points to educate Nigerians, but the evil ones playing around it as if nothing is happening because INEC and Judiciary Act submitted our right to corruption, and the people turned and lose. The journalists, especially the Yoruba type, will never see anything wrong with Yoruba people. But if it were to be another tribe bear this burden. Another wrong, if there to be another tribe bear this burden. Oh, wow. It is said that the judiciary is the last hope of the common man, but in the case of Nigeria, this is not true at all. Corruption has killed our judiciary. All eyes on the judiciary, all eyes no more on the judiciary. So thank you for listening. That is a piece written by Aisha Yusufu. It's a very long piece. I just read part of it, but it's all about calling the attention to the crime committed by Tinubu versus the one committed by Mesoma Ejikeme in Anambra State. And what is good for the goose is also good for the gander. Why is Mesoma punished? Because she's a poor girl, and Tinubu being hallowed because he's a rich man. Something has to balance up there.